Hey guys, Jacinth here. So, a lot of things have happened. I sold the Mustang, brought the S2000 up, and I got a new daily driver. So let's talk about it. So it's been about a month since I bought my new daily driver, and around the same time that I sold the Mustang. Now, the Mustang I had to sell because honestly it was just becoming too much of a pain to deal with. And it was a great car for the time that I owned it, but it really wasn't. I'm gonna be honest, it really wasn't. Now you see, I got cheated into my Mustang experience. I thought going into it that Mustangs were supposed to be reliable and robust like cars. My Mustang was anything but robust or reliable. I think the reason has a lot to do with the fact that it used to be a drag car back in, the early 2000s. But basically, lesson learned. It doesn't matter how reliable your model of car is supposed to be. If it used to be a drag car, it's not going to be reliable. So without further ado, here's me selling the Mustang. It was kind of an emotional experience. Oh man, I didn't think I'd miss it this much. It's not mine anymore. Goodbye, Buck Nasty. It's been a short while knowing you, but it's been fun. Oh man. This sucks. Did not think I was gonna miss it this much. Now, the family who I sold the Mustang to, they should take pretty good care of it. The person who bought it, he runs a drag car team, and his son also competes in drag racing, and it's going to be for his son, and his son isn't quite old enough to have a driver's license yet, so I really hope it's going to be a good car for him. He can definitely handle the horsepower, and I know once you get used to the car, it's very easy to manipulate, so I'm sure it'll be a great learning tool for him. I'm just happy to see it go off to a good home, and yeah, I'm great that it's gone, and I really don't know how to deal with it anymore. So you guys have seen my struggles with the car with the engine. The engine almost blew on track, and well, towards the end, I started to have transmission issues, and at that point, I just said, look, I'm done. I'm just going to get this out of my life. And that was that. So now that the Mustang is sold, I decided, well, let's get back to having a comfortable, four-door, reliable daily driver. And the biggest limiting factor for me is that it's got to be a manual. My Subaru at the beginning was just about perfect, and I really wanted to get back into a car like that, but I wasn't going to find a Subaru like that anywhere again. So I decided to open myself up to the world of front-wheel drive. Now, I've always been a Honda guy, ever since I had my S2000, so I thought, well, let's just go with something I'm comfortable with. So I looked at four-door Honda Fits, Honda Accords, and even Civic SIs. But they were either too old, or too high mileage, or just too worn out for my tastes. Remember, this is a car I want that I can just drive and just not think about, right? So if I was in California, I would have found the perfect Honda V6 Accord, I'm sure. And I even looked at Acura TLs and Acura TSXs. I even bumped down to 4-cylinders. Let's not even deal with V6s, let's go to 4-cylinders. I couldn't find anything, unfortunately. And the thing is, in Michigan, we have rust. And rust is a big problem for Japanese cars. Which leads me to my V6 Honda Accord equivalent. And, well, since I couldn't find a V6 Accord, I got the next best thing. I went back to Ford. Now, you might be questioning my sanity, but there's actually very good logic to this decision. This car, when I bought it, had 115,000 miles. The engine has never been modified, it's been stock, and the only mods that are on it is the big front mount intercooler, which, you might be thinking, wait, Jacinth, isn't that a performance mod? Yes, but it's mostly a reliability mod. And we'll get to that later, but basically the only things that have been modified on this car were by the previous owner, so I could ask the previous owner all the questions I wanted. And it does its job perfectly fine. Now, when it comes to reliability, it's not going to be as reliable as a V6 Accord, unfortunately. But I think it's reliable enough for my needs. Remember, this is a car that I'm just going to be driving around and not going to the racetrack or anything crazy like that. In that case, this car's not going to be pushed too much, so it'll be just fine reliability-wise. It's a car that I can just drive and not think about too much. Now, this is nice and all, but this is no Mustang, right? This is not a car that I would drive, you know, on a racetrack. And the Mustang was definitely something I would drive on a racetrack. You know, for that reason, you might see the good old friend of the channel. Welcome to Michigan, Fib. Welcome to Fib the S2K.
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
So coming up on the channel, we're going to have a lot of more content with the Focus and the S2000. I actually have some suspension going into the Focus, but the S2000 we're going to have a lot of fun with. And speaking of that, let's get back into the house. So with that said, we do have more content coming up for the cars, but also with this little whiteboard right here. And you'll be seeing what's going to be happening with this thing in the near future. So with that said, thank you guys for watching the video, and please subscribe and click the notification button and all that, because I want you to. Anyways, see you guys next time. Bye.